right, welcome everyone. I'm Philip Deneen, President of the Board of Education. Would everyone please stand for the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If everyone just please remain standing. If you'll notice, we have the balloons here that represents the colors of Ukraine. And if everyone would just take a moment of silence and just reflect upon the hardships that that country's facing right now and what they're going through. Thank you. Okay. I think we have a really good board meeting planned this evening. I'm very excited, first of all, that we're now mask optional. It's really nice to see everyone's faces. I really do enjoy not talking through a muffle. It's an exciting time. Spring is here. Like I said, we're mask optional. We can really channel all our energy that everyone has, to what we really want to do here, and that's focus on the students. And I'm going to, when we hired Dr. O'Hara, his mantra, students first, pure intentions, best effort. And again, that is so powerful. I mean, it really resonates. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're here to focus with. Spring is here. There's a lot of good things going on. Graduation is going to be coming up. So it's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to the rest of the year here, and let's make this as positive as possible. So with that, I'm going to move right on to our Pride and presentations, and we'll begin with our budget workshop.
Sure, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Brower.
Great.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Islip School District's second budget workshop. My name is Donna Brower. I'm the interim assistant superintendent for business, and it's my honor to be here tonight to talk to you. As we begin tonight, I would like to just take a moment to share, as I did in my last presentation, the mission of the district. So as we look here, what stands out to me is that we strive to empower all our students to achieve excellence and reach their full potential. That's really why we're all here tonight. Our students are why we do what we do, and we want them to be able to make a difference each and every day. Here are some of our students making a difference on a regular basis. I always like to share that because it brings it back home for us. This is a copy of our schedule. We're in our second budget presentation. Tonight we're going to be talking about our programs, initiatives, and our expenditures. Our next budget meeting will be at the March 22nd meeting, where we're going to talk about enrollment trends and staffing. And then on April 12th, we're going to have our final budget proposal for the community and hopefully an adoption by our Board of Education. On May 17th, that's our annual budget vote, and I encourage the community members to come out and vote. So first we're going to start with our programs. What do we do here in Islip that makes it so wonderful? We have a lot of programs that we're proud of. We speak about our Boces Career Tech programs, where we send our students out to our facilities close by. We work with the Leader in Me and social emotional literacy programs. We have our cosmetology program, which I know many of you are familiar with and can come in on weekends to get some haircuts. We have our Excel gifted and talented programs. We provide professional development in all content areas for our staff. And we provide all the necessities, textbooks, materials, library, kits in all contents for our student. In technology, we're branching out on our teaching and learning softwares. We're bringing new things into the district. We're securing one-to-one devices for students. We're increasing our coding and robotics. We have a technology integration specialist and a technology triage team that are there to help us whenever we need. We provide RTI redesign and implementation. We're looking to put in new elementary report cards. We're looking at the research for better teaching professional development for our staff, which is an intense program that will help our teachers in the classroom. We have we're looking to put a high school home improvement course in, as well as a new district-wide platform for all of our parents to utilize, called Parent Square. And we're continuing to work on curriculum writing and design for new coursework for next generation standards. So all of those things we keep in mind when we look at our expenditures. I wanted to start and show you what this year's expenditures look like as far as the pie graph is concerned. Our instruction, as you can see, takes up the majority of this graph. It's about almost 54%. Next is our benefits, which comes in at about 21%. Then we have our general support coming in at 13%, and our debt service and transportation, approximately 6% each. So what's involved and what's included in those areas? In our instruction, we're looking at curriculum development and supervision, as well as supervision in all areas. Our staff development, teaching, our special education programs, our occupational programs, our library and audiovisual, our computer-aided instruction, our guidance departments, our health services, psychological services, our social workers, co-curricular, and our athletics. In the benefits area, we look at health insurance, Social Security, our retirement contributions, workers' compensation, and other employee benefits, which include unemployment insurance and some contractual incentives. General support is another big area. That's where our Board of Education and district clerk expenditures come out of, our central office, the business office, which includes the auditing, our treasurer, purchasing, legal, our district insurance, all of our Boces administration fees for the services that we use at Boces, our personnel department, all the public information that we share, the operation and maintenance of all of our facilities is in there as well. Security, and our central printing, mailing, and data processing. In our transportation area, you'll see that's where we have our contractual obligations between the district and our contracted vendor of Suffolk Transportation. They maintain all our regular routes, our special education and out-of-district routes, as well as all our athletic routes, our field trips, fine and performing arts, and student competitions. And it also includes our oversight of our district transportation. Our debt service is another big area. That is all our contractual obligations, from bonds to our tax anticipation notes, our installment debt and principal and interest, as well as our energy performance contracts and our interfund transfers that we do during the year. So all of those things make up the piece of the pie. And we have to keep in mind that these are our goals when we prepare our budget. We want to continue to to have a strong commitment to our students and to offer them the best program that we can while we're continually staying current with all the new technology advances. We have to continue to create a budget that's aligned to the district's mission and goals, and we have to carefully review all our expenditures throughout the year and identify areas of need for the next year. We also have to maintain and create a long-term plan for the district. We have to look at safety and security. It's something that I know that the district is facing right now, and they are looking into security enhancements for the district. And we have to advance all the opportunities that the students are given, all our educational opportunities. We have to keep looking at our facilities and find out where we need to improve, where we need to upgrade, and where we need to replace items. And there's a possibility of looking to establish a capital reserve and or a repair reserve with any leftover funds that we have from the previous year. So what does the process look like? The district was asked, I went out to the building and departmental leadership, and I asked them to provide us a detailed assessment based upon contractual obligations, historic expenses, new planned initiatives, regulatory mandates, their general forecasts, and their current budget allocations. This is what we identified. There's a need to increase student support services to meet the needs of all our students. We need to enhance professional development for all our staff to keep current. We need to upgrade the technology of the district and continue to secure the one-on-one devices as we've been doing. We need to enhance our computer-aided instruction within our classrooms and provide support to our staff so that they're able to use the new devices and the new programs. Again, with facilities, we have to constantly keep looking at items that need to be taken care of. On a daily basis, we're looking at these items and we're working to make sure that each facility is safe and secure for all our students. Again, we have to look to enhance our district-wide safety measures. So, on this slide, when we pulled all the numbers together, this is where we came. We came to around $91 million, which is basically, I'm going to show you in the next slide. I want to leave it up there for a few minutes so everybody can take a look at it. This is what the pie looks like for the proposed year, 2023. 22-23, excuse me. You don't see much of a difference as far as the percentages are concerned. We try to maintain the integrity of all our programs and not have any type of significant increases. So you'll see instruction still stayed at about 54, close to 54%. Transportation still around 5%. Our benefits fell about 21%. The debt service is about 5.5%, and our general support is about 13.5%. This, just so for your information, this will be posted on the district website after tonight's presentation, so everybody will be able to have a copy of it. So when we spoke last, we talked about what the preliminary district revenues were. And through our tax cap calculation, we determined that we were legally able to go to $64,435,958 and stay within our tax cap. We estimated, based upon the executive proposal that came out in January, that we would be receiving about $25 million in aid. We estimated local revenues at about $935,000. With the use of a little bit of fund balance to keep our numbers down, our preliminary budget came out to $91,504,354. So what you see here on this next slide, I took the budgets from the past several years, and you'll see those budgets represented in the first column, in the purple column. What you see next is the tax levy limit that we were legally allowed to go to, and that which is represented in gold. And the purple, the light purple, is where the actual levy was approved. Consistently over the years, the tax levy has been about 70% of the budget, fluctuating between 69 and 70% of the budget. Excuse me? And what I'd like to share with you on this slide is the history of what the tax levy looks like. The purple color is representative of the tax levy limit for each year. And the gold represents what the actual limit was that the public approved. The last one is the proposed, which is still at what the levy limit is at the 2.12, but we continue to work on the budget, so that number may change. So our next steps, we're gonna work closely with the Board of Education, the superintendent, the building and the departments to continue to analyze and prioritize each of the expenditures. We have to create a plan to phase in all of the identified needs of the district and collaborate with the building and departmental leadership to refine some of the budgets. We have to continually monitor the state funding. The executive budget will be released in April. And we have to continue to research and identify new ways to bring in new revenues. And then what we'll do is propose a final detailed expenditure budget that's within our tax levy limit and fiscally responsible to the community. I'd like to thank everybody for listening and for all of your continued support. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to take them at this time.
I just have one. On the local revenues, I know it's estimated and you're not sure, but do you know what the date is when I know pilots are included in that, any other revenues, when the deadline is that has to be presented to you?
For the revenues?
Yeah, the local revenues where it says estimated, just like what's the timeline, when?
So we're still compiling that data. We've received the estimated pilots for next year. We've received them already from the town.
Okay.
And we're looking at, if we have any students that are tuitioning in to the district, and that could, we try to take an estimate.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This question might be more or less for Dr. O'Hara or Dr. Smalley, but under the instructional initiatives, can you just kind of give a brief overview as to what the high school home improvement course will be?
The proposal is to have it's a construction, career tech, construction-related course.
So does it fall under the guise of a CTE or?
It might, the reason, we have a few new courses in the high school that are in the catalog now, but the reason why this one stands out is because this home improvement course would require possibly some new machinery in that classroom, and that's why that specific one was shown here.
And at the end of the program, I know with our cosmetology program currently, the students have an opportunity to get licensed after they finish the program. Is that something that students will have an opportunity to have at the end of this program as well?
I'm not sure.
We always anything that can lead to a license is always being explored.
Okay.
And if we can tweak a program to allow it to include some of the skills and strategies being taught for them to get that license, we'll do that. We currently do that in most things that end in license. We see if our program
Thank you.
Donna, I saw on one of the slides, a proposed increase for staffing of approximately $1.9 million, am I correct in that? And is that all new hired staff, or is that gonna be explained?
Are you talking about the curriculum piece?
Can you,
You want me to go back?
yeah, could you?
Sure. So that's instruction, and that makes up a whole bunch of categories. That is not, that's not only salaries.
Okay.
That is,
Could you break that down a little, just for everybody?
sure, so in instruction, those are all the pieces that are included in that.
Okay.
So it's not just salaries.
Thank you.
Is there a more detailed breakdown of this, rather than just a pie chart that the public can see and break, so we can see where from these?
So sure, I mean, I have this year's budget, which I can give you exactly.
Right.
We're still working on
I
compiling.
understand that,
Right.
but it's something that can be put on the website? So that-
Sure, it will be eventually posted on the website for everybody to see.
Could you put the preliminaries up before, so we have a chance to kind of chew on it a little bit before you finalize?
Well, the thing is that there's still a lot of discussions to happen, so there
Well,
could
we
be.
understand that's still preliminary, it's
Yeah.
not final.
Yeah, I don't know, we can discuss it, and we could see if it's prudent or not to do it.
I mean, obviously, if there's a line item that's not, at a point that's, should be put out there, you can obviously leave it as a lump, but if the stuff that's closed out, and you put it, where you gotta be, it's obviously still preliminary, but obviously, if you wait till the last minute, then we don't have a chance to really dig into it, if it's done and then it's there. The earlier you get it out, gives the public more of a chance to actually see what's there.
Sure. Happy to work on it.
There's a critical need to enhance district-wide safety and security. What is that exactly? What is the critical need? Why is there a critical need?
Yeah, so, I mean, in that category, there's several different things, cameras, door swipes. We just recently put back in the hotlines that go directly to the police. For some reason, they were removed a couple of years ago. So it's those kinds of technology and security infrastructure things.
Is there like a rise in situations that's requiring this, or it's just building improvement?
No, it's just proactive. It includes different apps, and we just want to be in a position to be able to handle any kind of emergency, and we need to enhance things.
This new budget, do you kind of estimate how many slots the Boces will be open to students?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
How many, in the new budget, how many slots will be open for Boces students?
How many new ones? I don't have that number in front of me, but I can get that number for you.
That's an important question, Mr. Austin. This year, we made more programs available to students through Boces from Islip that for some reason have not been available in the past, so there's a lot of terrific,
41, but they weren't all filled.
yeah.
My question is about specific for budget lines. I'm not sure if it would be answered maybe if there was a more specific breakdown of those at some point, but one thing that I always feel like is lacking in the elementary program is elementary co-curricular activities. So clubs, it's been years and years, probably before my kids' time even. And I always feel that we're missing a huge piece of engaging kids in the district and finding talents before they get to middle school.
Yeah.
Because we rarely know the engagement kind of drops off, and I know there were some clubs put in place last year, but I believe they were under grant funding, so I'm just requesting, and it may already be part of that co-curricular activity, that the elementary clubs really become more robust and available for students in all three elementary schools.
Yes, that's a terrific point, and it's something that we hope, things will start to come online very shortly in that area, and it's something that we're going to work really hard to make sure that they continue for the long term.
in this budget, is this encompassing COVID relief funds, or is that outside this budget?
I'm sorry?
Is this
Just
budget,
about the
$100
grants.
million, does that include COVID
It-
relief funds, or is it, that next?
No, those funds are kept separately, they have to be reported separately.
It's important to understand that those funds aren't permanent.
I understand.
So, yeah, they're supposed to be spent on things that you don't intend to sustain or you can't sustain in a budget.
Do you encumber budget monies to pay for that initially and then expect to get reimbursement, or is that a separate money that comes from the state?
No, so what happens is with the state, they release a portion of the funds, and as you spend it, you can ask for reimbursement, and then they give you more funds. So that's how it works. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to call the business office. I'm happy to speak to you at any time. And I look forward to seeing you at our next budget meeting. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Under her binder.
Okay. Next on the Islip Pride and Presentation is the class of 22 valedictorian and salutatorian. Joe Harris.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Deneen. So just a moment to recognize and congratulate the valedictorian and salutatorian of the class of 2022. Those are achievements that don't come without years of effort and dedication and commitment. Congratulations to valedictorian Timothy Mack and salutatorian Anthony Lopez. These two close friends are active members of Science Olympiad, Keep Islip Clean, and National Math and English Honor Societies. Outside of school, Tim is a second-degree black belt and teaches youngsters as well. Anthony has volunteered at Pronto in Brentwood, where he teaches English and helps people study for their citizenship exam test. Anthony will attend Princeton University in the fall on a full academic scholarship. He's also a finalist for both the Gates Scholarship and Jack Kent Cook Foundation Scholarship. Timothy is awaiting an April 1st decision date response from the schools where he has applied, and I'm confident that we'll have good news on Timothy to celebrate in less than a month. And obviously, we wish them both great success in their futures.
Great, congratulations. Okay, that's all we have on the Islip Pride and Presentations right now. We're going to move on to our agenda items. Folks, at last board meeting, I read off our board policy. When you signed in this evening, you probably noticed at the front desk that there was a card to fill out any questions that you might have on any of the agenda items or any when we get to public comment. Really like to start moving forward with that. It just makes it easier. We'll give that to Carrie Ann, and then she'll be able to call the people up that have their questions, and you'd come to the microphone and get to your questions. I don't have anything from the public right now, but before I move on to that, is there anyone from the board that has any questions on our agenda items? And is there any here that might have came in late that didn't fill out a card that might have a question on any of our agenda items that we're going to be voting on this evening?
Can I just ask, do you have any way for people at home who are viewing to be able to write any questions or comments to you at this point, or not yet? 'Cause I know it's secure.
No, what they would have to do is they would have to send that in prior, I believe that 6:30?
Yeah, the board announcement does give the district clerk email address, and you can send that in prior to whatever, tonight it was 6 o'clock, so prior to
6 o'clock.
whatever time the meeting starts. And I do check the emails, I do have it open here too, so if somebody did write in, after 6 o'clock, I have that.
Good enough.
Yeah, and then also those folks that weren't here that do have any questions, again, forward those emails over, and we'll get those questions out to you as soon as possible. Okay. Yes.
Was this whole card scenario voted on by the board and agreed upon from the policy manual on the website?
It's been our policy that's been in place.
When, as of when?
The revision date is probably 2 years ago. I don't have the exact date on me, but it's not something that was just done last week. We've always had a board policy.
No, I understand what policy, but this whole card thing.
That's in there, yeah, so. So is there anyone from the public that has any questions on our agenda items? Okay. All right. So if you, please come to the microphone, name and address.
I might be reading this wrong, so. Are you guys gonna speak about the opioid overdose prevention? I know, last board meeting I was here, you guys spoke about it, and I just had a question, is Northwell involved in that? With Islip doing that whole program?
Where do we get who provides the training?
So the training is being done through New York State. We're a registered opioid program for them. So they provide an online training that we follow. And Dr. Donatelli is our clinical program director, and I am the program director. So any volunteer responder, anybody in the district that would like to be a volunteer responder, would take the online course. Then they meet with one of our school nurses, and they actually go through the Narcan demonstration, and then they receive a certificate. So it's not done through Northwell.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions on our agenda items? Okay. All right, then I'd like to get a motion for consent agenda items 5A through 5G. Can I get a motion? So that's Mr. Leggio. Can I get a second?
Second.
That's Mr. Austin. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? All right, all those motions will carry. And well, we'll have to wait to vote. Mrs. Fitzgerald, will you go with the personnel schedule, please?
The only one this evening, our instructional appointments. We welcome a new social worker at the elementary level, including a substitute for the rest of the school year. On the 8-2, we have the resignation of a coordinator of science and technology, an assistant track coach, and a rescinded appointment for permanent per diem sub. Leave of absence on the 8-3. We have 3 unpaid leaves, 2 on the secondary level, 1 on the elementary. Coaching assignments are on the 8-4 in JV softball, boys track, and middle school girls lacrosse. 8-13 this evening are additional duties in curriculum writing and family cultural night, as well as 6-period assignments in special education, E&L, and resource room. Our non-instructional appointments, the B1 is the appointment of an instructional aide and a TA at wing, also a substitute monitor. Resignations and terminations on the B2. We have the resignation of a senior office assistant at central office, another instructional aide, and the retirement of a middle school senior office assistant. Leave of absence on the B3 are 2 for medical reasons, 1 at the elementary level, 1 at the high school. And lastly, additional duties on the B13 for instructional aid at wing. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Fitzgerald. Dr. O'Hara?
Yeah, just, Karen, I'd like to welcome you to the Islip School District as one of our new social workers, starting sometime in April.
Thank you.
Mental health and emotional well-being is always crucial, but even more so now than ever. And in Karen, we believe we found somebody with a wealth of experience that will make a tremendous difference for our students. So, yep, welcome.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to our public questions, and I'm going to call the first person that filled out a card, Mrs. Bajrami. You had a question about the nurses administering vaccine.
Yeah, I'm just looking for clarification. So I know back in December, a letter was sent out saying that the nurses will not be administering the vaccine to our children. Is that still the case?
Yes.
So I'm under the impression that under no no circumstances can any school nurse administer a vaccine to any of our children. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not happening anywhere to our knowledge, and we're not asking our nurses to vaccinate.
Okay, so now,
They're not giving any vaccinations, by the way.
And we're not even vaccination site.
Yeah, so, and we're not,
so now if this changes, because everything changes every day, will the community be notified before this process starts?
well, I mean,
If school nurses start administering this vaccine?
but our school nurses won't be.
Okay, I just wanted to
Yeah.
record that our school nurses will not be vaccinated.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's up, can I speak for the
Sure,
board?
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, yeah,
As long as it's up to the school district, our school nurses will not be administering any vaccines at
Okay,
all.
because this has been my concern since August.
Yeah, I think we put it in
This is what
writing
I No, I know you
more
put it
than
in
once,
writing.
I think.
I
and-
just wanted to
yeah.
make it, I wanted to clarify.
Especially when we also have the option of being a vaccination site. We said we weren't. There's so many places out there. Again, it's your choice.
No, I
you know,
agree.
whether you want the vaccination or not. So we're in a real rural area where maybe some places, the school district is the only place for people who want to get it could. But here, CVS, Stop and Shop, wherever you want to go, the hospitals, you can go get your shot.
Well, I would like to thank you all, because now my 8-year-old will be going back to Sherwood.
Emily, welcome back.
Yay!
All righty. Is there any questions from the public for the Board of Education? Well, that's what I said, yeah. I said I was going to do the cards first, and then
So, just as a clarification.
just name and address, please.
Oh, sorry. Nicholas Story, 2 Giblin. The whole vaccine thing, I just want to jump on top of what Tamara brought up, and just going into the fall. We kind of see the writing on the wall with them talking about a flu vaccine requirement for the fall. In the event that they force that flu vaccine to be administered prior to you coming back to school, and if they, I don't like it at all anyway, but if they tie it into a COVID vaccine, what will be our position? Are we gonna hold the same position that we had prior? I mean, I just wanna know from the board standpoint, if they go this route, how are we gonna handle it as a district?
I don't like answering hypothetical questions. I mean, I think it's pretty clear the direction, what we said, what was going on here with the vaccinations.
Right.
So I've never heard of a flu vaccine. I'm being mandated.
There's stuff starting to happen in this.
I can tell you, I did know prior to COVID, if you were a hospital worker, you had to have a flu shot, or you had a mask up before there was no masks until the flu season was over. I don't know. I don't have, so, but I think you know where we stand.
Well, I'm just putting it out there because obviously it's something that's coming down the line, and I'd rather be in front of it than behind it.
But thank you for bringing it to our attention. That's coming
Yeah,
down the line.
and if you get anything, send it to us.
Okay, I will.
Yep.
I'm here, can I got another question.
Sure.
Where are we with Mrs. Zetterberg?
Again, that's a personnel question.
Okay, outside of a personnel standpoint, as a board, have you sat and questioned him about, or talked with him about the situation?
Mr. Torrey, it's a personnel question, and please, you have to understand that's not something that we comment in public session.
Well,
Mr. Torrey,
from a
Mr.
public
Torrey.
session, listen, wait, hold on a second, sir, respectfully. We as a public are paying 2 people to do 1 job. So we, as a public, would like to know from a physical standpoint, which you guys are responsible to protect us, why are we paying 2 individuals to do 1 job? And realistically, at some point, you all here have to make a decision. So if he did something wrong, charge him with something wrong, and do what you gotta do. If he didn't do anything wrong, bring him back. But every time we come here, and I ask the same question, I get the same answer, and we still haven't gone anywhere.
Because that's the answer that's what.
Has there been progress?
Mr. Torrey, the law prohibits any discussion related to these topics in public. That's why you receive the same answer. It's to protect employees and the school district. The law prohibits any discussion on personnel matters in public.
Even if it's a physical degradation to the district.
Any personnel matter.
Okay. No, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Torrey. Okay. Any other questions from the public?
I'm Scott Brown, 122 St. Mark's Lane. It's nice to see you guys' faces.
You really
Nice
mean
to
that?
meet you.
I took my beard off.
Nice to meet you.
You didn't know I had one prior to this.
Yeah. Should have shaved before you took the myself, but that's a different topic.
I got a haircut if you didn't notice.
Yeah, I know you're handsome.
Yes, it's on
So, my question is about plastic barriers. Some locations are still up, some have been taken down this week.
Yeah, the only place they remain, to my knowledge, is cafeterias, and they will be removed Friday evening, so when the students return Monday, they won't have them anymore.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're happy to return to normal for the kids.
We're making progress.
Yeah, we
on all
are, thank you.
fronts.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown, I think everyone is.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's, you know,
Yeah.
and like I said, it's spring, you know, it's spring forward, it's gonna be longer days now, you know, it's gonna be light out longer, it's exciting, let's finish this year strong, and, let's have fun.
And let's start next year knowing that the children have borne the brunt of the
Yeah.
sacrifice.
Exactly.
Sure.
During all of COVID. And us as the adults should have taken that responsibility. We all failed them,
Yeah, it's,
myself included. I know y'all did your best, everybody did their best, that's great. But we need to do better.
thank you. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Okay, we're gonna move on to our reports and correspondence. Mr. Perrine, you attended the Long Island Association meeting?
Sure, so on Friday, March 4th, I attended the Long Island Association's annual meeting in my capacity with the Nassau Suffolk School Boards Association. The event took place at the Heritage Club at Bethpage State Park. Other school board members from the Nassau Suffolk School Boards Association attended as well. The program was also attended by local business, labor, education, and other leaders from across Long Island, including our own town supervisor, Angie Carpenter, and our former Congressman, Peter King. The topic of the program was What's New in Washington, and the keynote speaker was U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. During his remarks, he discussed the investments that took place on Long Island as a result of the CARES Act and the American Rescue Plan. He did delve into some specific funding that our local region received. Some of the funding was set up to clean up the Long Island Sound. There was $50 million in relief aid that went specifically to the township of Islip. Of course, he discussed funding for reopening schools. And there was also $21 million that was allocated to our local airport, MacArthur, over in Ronkonkoma. Overall, it was an informative presentation, and for those interested in learning more about LIA and the work that they do in our region, you can visit their website. And that was it.
Great, thank you, Mr. Corain.
And a question? None of us were allowed to go to this meeting, and I had inquired about the meeting. I just had a question. Did the Senate Majority Leader address the problem of the gasoline prices going sky high that's going to adversely affect the transportation budgets of this district, all of Long Island, or did he not even address that?
No, so we did discuss, and I was mainly reporting on what's impacting school districts.
Oh, I think that's gonna have an impact on the district.
The topic that he did discuss was Ukraine and the recent decision for the country not to accept any more imports of Russian oil. So he did touch upon that as
But
well.
that's not a solution for our gas prices going up. Did he touch on that subject?
He did not address a solution to it. He just addressed the situation. But
That solves the problem.
yeah, I get it. Okay. I don't know what to tell you.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Weston.
Wait, I'm sorry, can you just, the Long Island Association, that's the name of the group?
Yeah, so it's a regional business group.
It's a business, is it?
It's a business
So it's not
association.
specific to education?
No, I was invited with other members of Nassau Suffolk School Boards,
Okay.
just to hear the presentation.
It was
We're all
like-
members of that group.
It was only, it was like an
Specific
invite only?
members of that group.
I know, but we're all members of NISBA.
Yes, but there were officers of the association that were invited
Yes.
to attend.
I'm just clarifying that we're all members of
that answer your question?
Enough for me to be able to go and look up some information on my own.
All right. Thank you. PT updates.
Sure. Actually, Mr. Clarine is going to start with SEPTA.
Yeah, so on Thursday, February 10th, our own SEPTA hosted a virtual workshop for school community members and their SEPTA members. It was moderated by SEPTA President Christy Evans, and there was a presentation from Randy Young of the Family Engagement Organization, Partners in Inclusivity. The title of the program was called Transitioning for Students Receiving Special Education Services, Early Childhood through 21 years old. Some of the topics discussed included the principles of family engagement, the transition from school-based services to adult-based services for those students who are aging out of their programs, the importance of data collection on the school's behalf, but also the family's behalf to develop narratives for our students during their CSE meetings. And one of the important topics that I know we do this here in Islip is empowering students to be their own advocate during their CSE meetings and also during their post-secondary education planning meetings. There is also a review of Access VR, a review of the State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, tips for families and professionals, and steps to review the state family and community engagement centers. So thank you to SEPTA and Dr. O'Callahan's office for spearheading and supporting this important work within our own district.
And I will do WING. The March 16th fundraiser at McDonald's is between 5 and 7 p.m. and everybody is welcome to attend. WING will get a portion of the proceeds. The middle school, the next meeting is March 14th. The yearbook pre-sale is ongoing till 3:25. At Comac Road, their book fair is 3:28 to 3:31. And look for Pizzeria Pizza Kit fundraiser at the end of March. For those of you who don't know what that is, the pizzeria offers a little kit. It's got a ball of dough, pizza, sauce, and cheese, and you can bring it home and eat it with your family. I know my kids enjoy it every time it comes up as a fundraiser. Their Blue Jeans Ball reboot is scheduled for 4/28 at Timber Point Country Club. It is one of the biggest community events here in Islip. I know in the past it is sold out. There's been over 200 tickets that were sold, so they are now on sale. They're looking for business sponsors and raffle prizes. You get to wear your favorite pair of jeans. It's not it's a real thing. You wear your jeans. It's Blue Jeans Ball, and you go nice and informal. And the event did sell out, like I said, in 2020, the last time it was held. It actually was held 2 years ago this week. It was a week before the world shut down. We snuck it in. Over at Sherwood, their book fair is today and tomorrow. Family night is March 9th from 4:30 to 7. There's also an option for online purchases if you can't make the event. The talent show is March 18th at the middle school. PARP is being held the week of March 21st. And the next PTA meeting is 3/29, and incoming second grade families who will be attending Sherwood in the fall are invited to attend. The high school celebrated PS I Love You Day. They had student volunteers decorating over 1,500 lockers with messages of encouragement. I saw the pictures, I was like, wow, that's a lot of Post-it notes. They took Polaroid pictures of students and made a positive word paper chain. A handy was handed out to students during lunch periods. Fashion show is 4/7, and the next meeting is 4/11, joint with SEPTA. And Mr. Austin is going to give us post-prom
Yeah, my
plug.
post-prom plug in. As everybody knows, the theme this year is Glow in the Dark, and we're going to be setting up 2 parent meetings this month of March. One is going to be for getting ideas and suggestions and go over the layout in the cafeteria, and the second one will be to present the plan for the event and the final input from parents. Build nights, we're tentatively starting on April 6th. We have a lot to get done. We're going to probably have about 10 build nights throughout until the event. Our egg fundraiser, the last day to order your eggs is April 1st. That's all the latest and greatest from post-prom.
We sold over 5,000 eggs so far. Throw that in there.
And we're also working on another fundraiser, chunky blankets.
Yes, we're gonna get the community together, all in one room, and we're all gonna make blankets.
There you go. Yeah, keep you warm in the house.
Okay, great, thank you for those updates. All right, we're gonna move on to our dates to remember. Our next Board of Education meeting is gonna be March 22nd. Exec session will be starting either at 6 or 6:30, with the public portion starting at 7:30 here in the auditorium, and then we'll also do our third budget presentation. Again, folks, thank you for coming out, thank you for your questions. Again, anything you have, keep them coming to us. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing everyone at our next Board of Ed meeting. Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
It's Mrs. Flora.
Second.
And then, Mr. Austin, all those in favor? Aye. Great, thank you.